So during my experience, I was communicating with a feminine primary shard of source, immersing me in, right? I mean, think about that. Touch, look at that, right? So we talked about this before. You were then being introduced to the feminine energy and starting to balance that and unlock that feminine energy, the sacred feminine. Okay. So people are starting to realize that sacred feminine, where they didn't realize it before. They're starting to realize that it was been edited out of all of the scriptures, and they made sure to do that. So they took Mary Magdalene, said she was a hooker, and put her as far away from Jesus as they could. But Jesus could not be called a rabbi 2,000 years ago if he wasn't married. And in that religion at the time, if you were 30 years of age, you had an arranged marriage and you were married. Jesus taught from 30 to 33, and he was a rabbi, and he had students. 12 students. He could not have, there was actually 7 or 9 more women, by the way, but he couldn't have students and be called a rabbi and teach in the synagogue unless he was married. Okay. And his wife had to have children or be pregnant. That's the law. Anybody who's Jewish, you know what I'm talking about. I've had people come in here, what I'm talking about, and they're like, this is true. This is true. So he had to be married. He couldn't teach. He couldn't have people unless he was married. Okay. So he was married to somebody. All right. And it was Mary. And there's evidence of that. And people say, no, that's just not true. Yes, there is. Okay. And you can look this up too. In Roman law at the time, when somebody was tortured by the Romans and they bled on the ground, the Romans did not clean up after them. The direct family members had to clean up after them. Okay. So read in the Bible who cleaned up after Jesus was tortured by the Romans. It wasn't 12 apostles. It wasn't 14 apostles. It wasn't a bunch of people who believed that he was the Messiah coming to his aid to clean. It was 3 people. That's it. Mary, his mother, Mary Magdalene, and John, who was supposed to be brother of James, who was supposed to be son of Zebedee. So how was he related to Jesus then? Because they had to be related. And how was Mary? Okay. And Mary wore a hood all the time. She had a hijab on all the time. At that time, in that religion, you only wore that if you were married. So Mary was always depicted with having one on. I mean, she was married to somebody, and that depicted to everyone in the communities that she went to that she was taken. And there's books that they now know belong in the Bible, like the book of Philip and a few others, where they say in there she was Jesus's companion. Okay. And that word 2,000 years ago literally meant spouse. Dan Brown put that in his book, The Da Vinci Code, which became the movie, and it's in the movie. He read 4 books that I read about that.